Your brain talks to you about money constantly, quietly, all day, and most of what it says is a lie. Not lies because you're dishonest. Lies because your brain evolved to make fast decisions, not accurate ones, and fast decisions about money are usually wrong. Today, you'll be able to spot 5 specific thoughts the moment your brain has them. Thoughts that feel completely reasonable in the moment but quietly drain money every single week. You'll understand exactly why your brain generates each one. It's not a character flaw, it's a shortcut. And you'll have one simple question for each lie that interrupts it before the money leaves your account. Welcome back to You're Rich Too, where we understand money, grow wealth, and change your life together. Lie number 1, and probably the most common one you'll tell yourself all year. I'll start saving next month once things settle down. Researchers who study this have found something strange. When people imagine their future self, brain scans show activity that looks more like they're thinking about a stranger than thinking about themselves. Your brain doesn't fully believe that future you and today, you are the same person. And it's much easier to hand a stranger your problems than to hand yourself one. In a well-known study, researchers showed people an age-progressed photo of themselves, literally what they might look like decades from now, before asking about retirement savings. People who saw their future face put roughly twice as much money toward retirement as people who didn't. Same facts, same math, same person. The only thing that changed was how connected they felt to their future self in that moment. Here's the catch. Make future you less of a stranger. Literally rename your savings account something specific. Me at 45 or emergency fund for future me, instead of just savings. It sounds small, it measurably isn't. The more real your future self feels, the less next month becomes a permanent excuse. Lie number 2. It's 50% off, so I'm saving money. You see a sale, 50% off, and your brain says, I'm saving $100 here. You're not saving $100, you're spending $100. The savings only exist compared to a price you were never actually going to pay in the first place. This is a well-documented effect called anchoring. The very first number you see, the crossed-out original price, becomes the reference point your brain measures everything against. Once that anchor is set, $100 feels like a bargain, even if the item was never worth $200 to you at all. Retailers know this. It's exactly why sale tags almost always show the original price crossed out. The crossing out is the persuasion. Without that anchor, you'd just be looking at a $100 item, deciding for yourself if it's worth $100. With it, you're not evaluating the item anymore, you're evaluating the discount. Here's the catch. Before buying anything on sale, mentally cover up the original price. Ask only one question. Would I pay this number right now if I were seeing this item for the first time with no discount attached? If the answer is no, the discount didn't save you anything. It talked you into something. Lie number 3, it's just $5, that doesn't matter. Small purchases get almost no scrutiny from your brain, while big ones get intense scrutiny because our brain evaluates a purchase's importance by comparing it to whatever reference point is nearby. $5 compared to your $2,000 rent payment looks like nothing, so it gets waved through without a second thought. Consumer researchers have a name for this pattern, sometimes called the peanut effect. Small amounts get treated as functionally free because they seem too tiny to matter, even though the actual dollar impact is identical whether it's judged big or small. The problem is your brain never adds these up in the moment. It evaluates purchase number 1 in isolation, then purchase number 2 completely separately, then number 3, never as a running total. Do that 5 times a day, 5 days a week, and you're not looking at just $5. You're looking at $140 a week that your brain never once flagged as a decision because it was never evaluated as a total, only as 5 separate forgettable moments. Here's the catch. For 1 week, write down every purchase under $10 in your phone's notes app. Nothing fancy, just the amount. Don't change anything yet, just look at the total on day 7. Most people are shocked by the number, not because they didn't know they were spending, because they never once saw it as a single total. Lie number 4, if I don't buy this now, I'll lose the chance forever. A countdown timer. Only 2 left in stock. Offer ends tonight. and suddenly a purchase you weren't even considering an hour ago feels urgent. This is one of the most studied persuasion tactics that exists. Things feel more valuable the instant we believe we might lose access to them, completely independent of the item's actual worth. Your brain conflates two completely different things: how urgent something feels and how good a decision it actually is. A countdown timer manufactures urgency. It says nothing about whether the purchase is smart, and here's the tell: that ends tonight sale is very often running again next week, sometimes with a brand new countdown timer. The urgency wasn't real, it was a design choice. Here's the catch. Separate the two questions on purpose. First, is this actually a good purchase for me at this price? Second, only after answering that honestly, does the timer change anything? Almost always, the answer is no. A genuinely good decision today is still a genuinely good decision tomorrow, timer or not. Lie number 5. I forgot about that subscription, so it's basically free. A subscription you signed up for 8 months ago, barely use, and haven't thought about since. The first month, you noticed the charge. By month 3, it blended into the background. By month 8, your brain stopped registering it as a decision at all. It just became part of the wallpaper of your bank statement. This is what happens when a payment becomes automatic. The one-time decision to sign up gets treated by your brain as if it settles the matter forever, but the charge doesn't stop. Only your attention to it does. Multiply a handful of these: a streaming service you don't watch, an app you tried once, a membership you meant to cancel, and it's common for people to find $50, even $150 a month in charges they'd completely stop noticing. Here's the catch. Once a quarter, scroll through one full bank statement and physically highlight every recurring charge. Not to judge them yet, just to make them visible again. The moment a forgotten subscription becomes visible, it stops being basically free and goes back to being an actual decision. 5 lies. I'll save next month. This discount is savings. It's just $5. I'll lose this forever. It's basically free. Notice the pattern. Every single one of these works by getting your brain to evaluate a purchase in isolation, disconnected from the bigger picture, disconnected from future you, disconnected from the original price, disconnected from next week, disconnected from your full bank statement. So here's the real question. Which of these 5 did your brain tell you this week? Comment the one that hit closest to home. If this video helped you catch your own brain in the act, subscribe to You Are Rich Too. Remember, you are rich too. You just need to catch the lie before it catches your wallet. See you next week.